Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, friends.
What's good, y'all?
Happy Moonday. Yo, what up? Everybody, welcome Cirrus Fox to the stream. I pronounced it right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, good. I was like, oh shit. Just that last minute, like, oh fuck. Yeah, right? Podcast Pro now. Yeah, I saw you hopped onto the Rising from the Ashes Sunday slow burn. So two days in a row on the mic.
2 in a row, I know, right?
Love it. Nice. Yeah, dude. So hello everybody. Welcome back. Glad to be back. Figured I would bring our new friend on here today because this gentleman, would you like to share your sun moon rising with us?
Sure. I'm a Sagittarius sun, Virgo rising, and Libra moon, so we're kind of going into Libra season next. So I'm on deck for that.
Right? Virgo rising, Libra moon in the house. What up? So literally perfect for this episode today. Love it. And that is looping. Okay. That's cool. So yeah. Heck yeah. All right. How are you guys doing? There was a couple transits there this last week that obviously, because I wasn't here, I didn't talk about with you guys, but there were some interesting ones like Venus squaring off with Mars, Sun opposing Neptune, and Mercury was opposing Jupiter for like pretty much the whole week. So yeah, how'd you guys do? Did you feel any of those? Did you notice any craziness?
Yeah, I broke a bandsaw blade at work, so that's always fun. It did, and just kind of like randomly broke too. Like that's always fun. But
is it like a vertical bandsaw?
Yeah, it kind of is like a horror. Like you can
Oh, it's
do
a
it
horizontal.
vertically,
Okay.
but like most of the time we do it to just kind of chop hunks of bar stock. But
Word.
yeah,
Those kind of just break sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, and it was like right where because it's like a hoop and it's kind of
Yeah.
welded at one point and then ground down
Yeah.
and it broke like right there. So I'm thinking
Right on
maybe
the
it was
weld.
kind of weak or they
Shitty
don't
weld.
make them like they used to, just like everything else. Because like our last one lasted like years of me like using it normally, and this one lasted like a year or two. But surviving.
Wow. Chance was too busy crushing to notice the astro weather. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Andy said it was great and weird. Stacey had a great weekend. Roman's feeling it. Sorry, dude. Stacey was also too busy crushing. I love it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, dude, my first career choice was welder, so I'm very familiar with bandsaw blades, but we were cutting metal and shit, so they would break a lot on me.
Right. Like I'm just doing
Good sound,
aluminum
just like
mostly, which is like the butter of
so
metal.
soft. Yeah, fair enough. We're like abusing the piss out of them, cutting all kinds of mild steel and stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
so much fun. I miss those days. No, I don't miss those days at all. But nothing like going home and blowing your nose and it's black. It's like,
Oh yeah, totally.
this is healthy. This is healthy.
See, that's when like masks really work with like particulate matter. But
Right? Exactly. Yeah. What's up, Martin? Martin in the house. Cool. Sweet. Everybody. Not everybody, but almost everybody that I love is here. This is great. All right. Okay, cool. Okay, let's get into our slideshow. Actually, first of all, you make some pretty cool stuff. Do you want to like just tell people some of the artwork that you do, and I will happily show them the piece that I have?
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of do a lot of stuff, mostly centered around copper right now, but I do a lot of various things with that, doing copper electroforming, definitely a alchemical process. That's pretty cool. And
It's fucking badass. Look at this shit.
daggers
Look at this
and,
shit.
Jewelry, pendants, rings. I'm making some bracelets. I actually just had this piece of track that I brought into work, and I like planed it for a nice little benchtop anvil to like do some hammering on. But
Dude, that's genius.
the pros of still having one toe in the matrix of the normal kind of day job, I guess, is I have access to all these cutting machines that I wouldn't otherwise. But yeah, just kind of doing lots of stuff with fun natural materials, crystals, bones, feathers, crab shells, all kinds of good stuff.
You collect a lot of rocks too, don't you?
I've got not like a huge collection, but like it's kind of starting to get up there. But I do go walk the beach quite a bit because I live right on it, and seeing what I can find. I've been finding some pieces that I'm pretty sure are jade, which is pretty cool because the Fraser River up in Canada exits out right into the bay, sort of close to us, and I know there's a lot of jade claims on the Fraser River, and so it makes sense to me that they would work their way down over time and end up at my house. So.
I love that. That's so cool. Just magic. And yeah, dude, Chance, I never wore a respirator.
What's PPE?
I never wore a respirator.
No.
But yeah, anyway, good times.
Yeah.
Good times. Just detoxing all the metal now. Anyway, so good times. But yeah, so check out the Telegram because this man is doing some really, really cool electroplating work with copper, and it's badass as hell. So yeah, definitely hit him up for some sweet wands. And yeah, let's get into this transit talk. There's so okay. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I am trying to condense these a little bit so that I'm not overloading everybody with like super heady stuff. Because to be perfectly honest with you, it can get really, really heady and complex, and then you lose the essence of the message. And I don't want to bore you to death. But also, I feel like it's necessary to kind of simplify these a little bit, not because I think any of you are stupid. I actually think I have one of the most intelligent audiences on YouTube, which is a blessing. But because not every single transit will even affect you. So what's the point in getting super heady and super intellectual when you won't even feel most of them, right? So yeah, so anyway, I'm trying to keep this to just the main ones that everybody will notice. What's up, Logan? You weren't 21 hours early this time. What's with that? Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. I appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, so like what basically what's the point in getting super heady if it's just not necessary? And yeah, so let's just talk about the main ones that we are definitely going to feel. All right. So the main big thing that's happening this week, obviously the sun is ingressing into Libra, and we're having for the northern hemisphere, autumn equinox. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the spring equinox. Important to note that. So yeah, sun ingress into Libra, that will be on the 22nd. All this week, you will be noticing and feeling the Saturn square to Uranus. Now, it is not exact, but it is 1 degree. So, you know, I think that it's kind of a big deal. And we're leading up to the final Saturn-Uranus square. Now, this is an aspect that played out all last year, literally for the entire year. We had this Saturn-Uranus business. And just to briefly sum it up, to bring everybody up to speed, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Uranus has been in Taurus, and we have this Roman, I think that was just word salad. But anyway, so Uranus in Taurus has had this really interesting effect where we're noticing all of these technological advances in relation to our goods basically in farming, in food, in our bodies. It's like this mad scientist energy, and on one hand there's some positive stuff that can come out of that and on the other, there's a lot of really not so great stuff that can come out of that. It's also a very rebellious energy, right? It's the disruptor or the great awakener. With Saturn in Aquarius, this is a huge control construct. The moment Saturn moved into tropical Aquarius, we had literally who's got word croutons? Anyway, oh my god. Anyway, the moment Saturn moved into Aquarius, we had literally global lockdowns. And mass censorship. So we have this reining in energy from Saturn. Meanwhile, Uranus is shaking things up and shattering the boundaries that Saturn's trying to put on it, right? So this has been a pattern that's been playing out, and the final square is coming up real quick here, but we're in the build-up phase. The other major thing happening is Venus should now be invisible. I say should because I think that depending on your latitude on the Earth, you may be able to still see her. You might have to be really far north for that. But anyway, according to the ancient tradition, she is now under the beams, quote unquote. So we shouldn't be able to see her. This is the beginning of a process that Venus goes through all the time. Actually, all of the planets do. As soon as they are close enough to the sun and we can't see them, they're said to be going through a rebirthing process. So this is significant when a planet disappears into the beams of the sun. It is said that I can hear you. I'm just gonna mute you for a sec. Sorry, buddy. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. So basically, it's said that archetype is going through a rebirthing process and won't be able to help us out here in the external and the physical while she's going through that process. So that's going to be a big thing that I'll be talking about. The other thing is Mercury, obviously being retrograde, is also under the beams of the sun, and this will play into the Libra ingress. I didn't tell you about them. They're crazy. Oh man. When will Venus be visible again? That's a great question. Not this week. It's going to be a while. So, let's not worry about that right now. Let's take it one week at a time, all right? Is the conjunction, okay, I'm going to talk about this briefly. The conjunction between Venus and the sun will happen right before the solar eclipse. So, it's a ways out. So don't worry about that right now. And then, of course, we have the new moon in Libra and Venus opposes Neptune. All right. So anyway, let's move this forward. So literally we're jumping to Thursday because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is a bunch of minor stuff happening that is not super important. So Thursday, we have this lovely T-square setting up with the moon opposing Saturn and squaring off with Uranus. So like I said, this energy of Saturn square Uranus is noticeable wherever those houses are in your chart, in your personal chart. It's just going to continue to be this friction of trying to innovate and change things and break free from the old structures or the old ways of doing things and the old systems. Meanwhile, there is actually something about those traditional ways, those traditional systems that is valuable. So we have to really decide what needs to go, what needs to stay, and what innovation is okay, and where we want to take that, basically. So coming into Thursdays, the moon is in its not quite its balsamic phase, but it's getting a lot closer to the new moon phase, and we're in this season of closing down summer and transitioning into fall. It's kind of like Wednesday and then Thursday morning will be just a reminder of what these themes of Saturn and Uranus are for you in your life, basically. Okay, good times. Just checking the chat. You guys are crazy. I love it. And then on the 22nd, all right, this is the equinox. So this is super cool. On the day of the equinox, we have the Mercury cazimi. Cazimi basically just means that planet is in the heart of the sun. It's like it's diving into the furnace for its rebirth. Now, when Mercury is retrograde, this type of a conjunction with the sun is called an inferior retrograde. Not inferior because it's lesser than, but inferior because it's inside. So this inferior conjunction is said to be like the intention of the cycle. So you can think of it as similar to like a new moon kind of energy, where this is like we're setting some kind of intention that the next Sun Mercury conjunction, when Mercury is in the superior position, will be manifesting. A cazimi, like this, when they're both on the same degree, is said to be basically, some astrologers say that is the time when you get some kind of download, some kind of intuitive hit, or some kind of message comes through for you, because it's like the sun is able to like channel Mercury's message directly to you, or Mercury's able to channel the sun's message directly to you, one of the two. The fact that this is happening on the equinox is crazy. If you guys don't know, the solstice and the equinoxes basically set the tone for the rest of that quarter. So basically, this chart that you see right here on your screen right now is the energy that we're carrying with us until the winter solstice or the December solstice. So having that Mercury right on the sun is super significant. It's really crazy, actually. So anyway, this is the energy that's carrying through, right? So expect on the equinox, honestly, take some time for yourself to celebrate this like quarterly motion, this thing that we go through every single year. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's my belief and my practice now to honor these things. So on the equinox, the sun will be rising directly due east of the earth and setting directly due west of the earth. some main things happening, honestly, because Mercury is retrograding from Libra and back into Virgo. Did talk about this the last time we were on stream together, but there is this huge theme, especially with Venus invisible, of relationships coming up. The houses ruled by Venus, so Libra and Taurus, are essentially areas in your life that you're going through a huge reconfiguration right now. And the conjunction between the Sun and Venus that will be happening right before the eclipse is happening in Libra for the first time in our lifetimes. So I did not bring this up in this slideshow, but I can bring it up in a minute. But yeah, balsamic. It's a moon phase. You guys, what the hell? Oh man. Distractions. Okay, anyway, so Venus makes this beautiful pattern in the sky, right? It's a rose pattern. It's a 5-pointed star. This is where we get the pentagram from, is Venus's pattern. Well, nature, but you know. This star pattern stays in the same signs for a long time, and makes a very, very slow precession around the zodiac. Now, this particular conjunction of Venus and Sun in our lifetime has always been in Scorpio. And this year will be the first year that it'll be in Libra, literally since all of us were born. This is a big deal. Okay. Love you, buddy. Yeah, dude, balance is coming. Yeah, so we're gonna get into that. Okay, Lady Justice can be a bitch. All right, let's just put it that way. Okay, what else do I want to say about this? Let's see. Let's look at my notes here. Sorry, guys. So this shift, this Venus Libra shift, we're going from focusing on transformation in relation to Venus topics, so relationships is a huge one, to rebuilding harmony and balance, right? Another huge theme of this entire year has been air. Like, this has been a year of air. We had the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius, right? That was December 21st, but you know, it carries through. It's a 20-year cycle, all right? This entire year we've had Mercury retrogrades in air signs moving back into earth signs. Very big air thing. And then now we also have this Venus star point, it's called, in an air sign, right? So huge air theme. This is all about communication, the mental realm, debating, relating, wit, ideas, projection, community. How do we show up and operate in relationships? This is a huge theme. I'm gonna keep repeating that until you guys get it. Please tell me that you get it. All right, so this upcoming new moon, okay, let's go to the next. All right, so Friday we got the Venus opposing Neptune. Let's just talk about that real quick. So Venus is already invisible, okay? She's already under the beams of the sun. And then on Friday, she's also opposing Neptune. So this can bring about, on one hand, it's the love of the ideal. It's absolutely beautiful. And then on the other hand, it's the potential for like fraud and delusion. But I really feel like with the Kazemi point and with Neptune being in retrograde, this is an opportunity for us to identify where we're deluding ourselves in the area of relationships, but also when it comes to specifically women, because we're talking about Venus, in the service industry or in the healing industry, right? So hospitals are more Pisces, but natural health is Virgo. These are going to be big themes coming up and being revealed. Basically, where have we been deceived, right? Where have we been deceived especially by women in positions of authority, in these particular industries. And yeah, what are we going to do about it? And then the new moon. So this new moon, this is a big deal. Okay, this new moon is a big deal. After this new moon, when we have the sun in Aries and we have the full moon in Libra, I'm pretty sure it's going to be an eclipse. Right? Yeah, exactly. I know. I know. Yeah. So I guess the question is, how much can we handle? Right? Or how much, not even we, how much can the normies handle, really? Anyway, this new moon is a big deal. So, be especially conscious about the intentions that you're setting. And, oh my God, just the chat, you guys. All right, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. That's pretty much all I got to say. It's an important one. Let's just put it that way. It's an important one. Yeah. And then, of course, we're still dealing with this Mercury and Jupiter opposition, which is really bringing up themes of like, okay, with Libra, we have this theme of balance and harmony, right? So, ruled by Venus. Do you guys know what planet is exalted in Libra? Saturn. Motherfucking Saturn. Saturn balances the scales of Venus. Okay, so you have mercy and severity. This is what I mean when I say Lady Justice can be a bitch. Karma's a bitch. That's why. This is really important. Yeah, to show up in integrity. So anyway, all right. So anyway, this this opposition between Mercury and Jupiter that's still playing out this week. This is asking us to really look at where we're showing up, and is it harmonious and in balance, or where we're being selfish? Is there a middle path that we can walk? When is it morally right to walk in the middle path? Or when is that actually a cop-out? When do we actually have to take a side? Yeah, while Venus is hidden, it's like all Venusian matters kind of become hidden for a little bit and experience difficulty. So if you are in a committed relationship, or even just in your relationships with friends, your relationships with family, it doesn't even have to be romantic stuff. There could very well be issues that come up that need to be addressed. This is not the time for pushing things to the side and brushing them under the carpet. This is the time to address them head on and not be a little bitch, basically. Mic drop, I'm done.
Just good advice in general. Don't be a little bitch.
Just, speak what's on your mind. It's really important. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I actually did not even think about this in relation to the Queen. Okay, spam. All right. Okay. Good times. It's not a YouTube stream without some.
Wow.
Yeah.
We quit the bot day today.
Yo, for real. Oh my God. Okay, anyway. Why? Where's my admin team? Yo, guys, what the fuck? All right. All right. Okay, so. Dude, what the fuck? Seriously, bot attacks everywhere. What is going on? That'll be really cool. That's exciting. I don't have live wrench. Oh man. Okay, hold on, guys. I don't actually have it open on YouTube. Usually Chance is there with the band hammer, like, How do I get to text that fast? You copy pasta. That's a copy pasta thing. All right. Okay, so anyway. How come you don't get Nazi bots? You don't get Nazi bots? What the hell? Oh my god. It's not funny, but it's a little bit funny. But it's really not funny. All right. I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
I feel like you must be doing something right to get this kind of negative attention, right?
Dude, I don't even know. That's hilarious. Okay. Wrench them all. Never got Nazis before. I know, that's the first one for me too. Oh wow. Oh my god. Okay, so anyway. I'm gonna let my friends do some stuff here while I pull some fucking stuff. All right, anyway. Okay, my friends. What the hell? Oh my god. Okay, so anyway, let's get into this. So I got my tarot cards. What did you decide on bringing today? Did you just decide on runes, or
I've actually been working with this alchemical oracle from ancient Egypt, so kind of an Egyptian theme. It's called the Book of Doors. It's kind of sweet, and still kind of learning it, but I've gotten some pretty good pulls from it, I think, and kind of even combining with other things. Like I've done it mixed with runes and other oracle decks, and it's been pretty good so far.
I like that. That's cool. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I have my I got my cards. I'm ready to go.
Yep.
Holy shit. All right. So, we're just going to start with Pisces and go from there. The Book of Doors. Yeah. Do you want to show them, like, do you have a the front of it?
This is like the book. Comes with it.
Make you full screen.
And then the cards. Got a nice scarab. Kind of cool.
Cool.
Art. And one thing I will note, it doesn't use a lot of the common kind of deity names that people are probably familiar with. Like Thoth is Tahuti, Isis is Aset, and so like you probably won't, like, unless you kind of have dug into some Egyptian stories and Nut and Hihu, and a lot of them are unfamiliar to me even. And but I thought that was kind of neat though, that it kind of uses the Egyptian name rather than the kind of the Greek translation, which is what we're familiar with.
I like that a lot. Good question, Crazy Crone. I believe that our friend here is burning Palo Santo. Are you burning Palo Santo? Yeah.
It's, it doesn't last very long, but you can always relight it.
Right. I go through Palo Santo so fast because I just keep relighting it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay. And yeah, I just lit my I've been working with juniper. I love juniper. So I just lit that. Where the homunculi at? What's up? What's up, Juan? Oh, hey, it's Carrie. All right, okay. Now I'm like, who are you? But okay. So Pisces, you're up first. I'm all discombobulated from the the white supremacist bot attack. I'm so confused. I'm like, what is this? What the fuck? Oh my god. Anyway, Pisces. It's good to be first. Carry of many names, right? Carry of many names. Okay, Pisces. You know what? You know what, Pisces? I love you. That's what. How have you been doing with this mutable square action going on? I'd like to know. It's good to be first. Oh, okay, right. That makes sense because Pisces rising. Okay, I'm like la 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 la. Been bitch slapped by Babylon. I love the new book. I'm sorry for laughing, but yeah, fair enough. Okay, Pisces. You know what? Fuck those bots. Okay, so Pisces for you, Libra is your 8th house. So when it comes to this new moon and the ingress, all right, we're talking about some kind of literally death and rebirth process for you. Because the 8th house deals with death, it deals with taxes, fun. It deals with shared resources, basically. Okay. And Venus also rules your 3rd house. So that's interesting. With Venus turning invisible, this is like a rebooting of your skills, the things that you do with your hands, your tools, your communication. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm actually seeing this play out with at least one of you, if while Venus is invisible, you feel the need to pull back a little bit and be a little bit less communicative while working on things. So that's interesting. And that's okay. That's totally okay. Yeah. So right. Right. Oh my god. Right. Yeah, and as soon as you're ready, you can go, because I don't know, sometimes they take forever to shuffle. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
Well, I have drawn Kekui. Focus. And he is in the family of the 8 primordials, which is the first family. All these deities are divided into 8 different families, with like the primordials first, heaven, fire, moon, sun, wind, earth, and then Duat is the last one. And this card represents immediate transformation of a situation. Light is shed on a perplexing problem and the end of obscurity, because he's known, and his hieroglyphic meaning is means obscurity. So this is kind of symbolizing something that is kind of hidden from you is now going to have some light shine upon it. Here, like a distillation from the depths of the darkness, light is created. There's no light without darkness. One cannot exist without the other. So that's kind of, they definitely play off each other. And I think kind of like you were saying, I'm kind of blanking on what you were saying, but
The transformation part?
yeah, the transformation, that's where I was going for. But kind of working from one and now going into the next thing. And not that it's going to be easy, but I think, yeah.
I love that. That's super cool. So for you, Pisces, I got basically shit mirroring exactly what I was talking about with the astrology. We got judgment. So you're making some tough calls, some big decisions, or you're being called to go in a new or different direction by spirit. You also got the 3 of Wands, which is definitely talking about honing some newer skills, or essentially just feeling established in some direction that you are going in and continuing on in that particular direction. You're really gaining some kind of mastery. And then the Eight of Swords. And this is kind of what I was hinting at a little bit about feeling the need to pull back a little bit, or just allowing yourself to pull back if that is what you feel is needed at this time. Sometimes with the Eight of Swords, we can get it a little bit in our own way. So this is another way to read it. Sometimes we can get a little bit in our own way with getting too caught up in the mental, right? Overthinking things, or just basically overthinking things. Putting too much emphasis on how we think or how we feel other people are going to think. Caring too much about other people's judgments, right? Too much about other people's judgments rather than just focusing on what you actually want with your life. So, and I mean, really, this is kind of a huge theme for the whole archetype of Libra, which is going through a reconfiguration process. We can't be so focused on what other people think that we stop ourselves from doing what we want. We have to really just be focused in on what is right for me in this moment and what is the morally right thing to do, and just do it. Just do it.
Transform already.
Just have fun. Okay, Aquarius. All right, so okay, so Libra is your 9th house, Aquarius. This new moon and the Ingress in the Libra and all this lovely stuff is happening for you. They say that the 9th house is like the university or the temple that you study in. That's one way to look at this house. Traditionally, it was called the House of God. And the 3rd house, its opposite point, is called the House of the Goddess. So I think that's really cool. But anyway, so this is signaling some kind of new beginning or new level, kind of like unlocking in regards to publishing and getting information out, or just in further studies of some kind. And, you know, what you're studying, you know, maybe you don't know what that's going to be yet, especially while Venus is still invisible. But you don't have to make a decision right now. What I would say actually is to just put some thought into what direction you want to take that, you know. The 9th house can also be talking about foreign journeys. Not necessarily moving or relocating, although sometimes, but more often it's like just a trip to somewhere that you feel has some significance to you. So, you know, like a mound site, or, you know, a stone circle, or, you know, whatever. It could be anything that has some kind of significance on a spiritual level for you. Anyway, these are things to think about. Venus being invisible, because Libra is your 9th house, like I said, that might be up in the air for a little bit. The other house that Venus rules is your 4th house, so the house of home. So quite literally, there could very well be difficulties at home that, you know, like I was saying before, can't just be brushed under the rug. They need to be addressed. And now is the time to do it, really. I mean, always. I would always say just address it head on whenever you can, but don't avoid, basically, is just what I'm trying to say. Lovingly, don't avoid. Okay, my friend, what you got?
All right, for Aquarius, we've got Cirquette. Focus. She's the scorpion goddess. As you can see, there's one on her head, and she has one on her feet as she sits on this throne. And her hieroglyphic name translates to "she who liberates the breath." And one kind of representation of that with the scorpion is its tail, when it kind of symbolizes the rhythmic contraction of the breath, where when it's aggravated, it's like curled up, and then as it relaxes, it's usually laid down, and it's kind of that back and forth, that rhythmic flow of the vital force that really she represents. She also represents, she's a goddess of sexuality. And one of the divinatory meanings of this card is a danger of the misuse of sexual energies or a conscious choice in their direction. But also, people would wear necklaces in ancient Egypt or pendants that had the scorpion goddess on them as sort of a protection medallion. So it also has protective qualities as well. But her sexuality can also be a power given as a gift by the goddess, an expression of the cosmic female principle, and it is in a way that the scorpion was considered sacred to Aset, which is Isis, imparting her protection, magical knowledge, and power. So that's definitely a very powerful card. And I mean, the breath is that's something that I've kind of personally have realized in recent months just by doing some breath work stuff, and how powerful breath can be on its own. So it's a very, very powerful thing, breathing in that spirit.
I love that. I also love that, once again, my cards echoed actually what you said. So that's super cool. This is a big theme. Aquarius. Aquarius. What I got for you, my friends. It's the sun. All right. So there's an aspect of renewal, freedom and joy, and just power and illumination. All right. With the King of Cups. Here's that Scorpion energy. Hello, Scorpio. All right. So the King of Cups coming out with the sun can be indicative of you leveling up emotionally in some way, becoming a little bit more responsible about those energies. You know what I'm saying?
Don't misuse them. Right.
And then Justice. Lady Justice is out. See, look, check it out. Right in this card, eh? There's Venus and there's Saturn, balancing the yin and the yang. So, balance, my friends. It's all about balance. It's really, really very simple. So, with the King of Cups, he's got these two major arcana on either side, right? Freedom and joy and ecstatic loveliness, and then the need for harmony. Now, I didn't do this for Pisces, but I looked underneath for you, Aquarius, and the Five of Cups is here as well. So what this is saying to me is, if you have been feeling drained or sapped, this might be kind of a bit of a wake-up call to really assess how you're spending that energy, right? That creative force. If you're wasting it, then you're gonna feel wasted. You know what I mean? If that doesn't resonate for you, and none of that lines up for you, then just keep doing what you're doing. And just remember that if it is grief and sorrow that is actually what it is that you're experiencing, then this too shall pass. Just bring it back to the breath.
Definitely.
We're just going to whip through these, I think. I'm okay with that. Okay. Capricorn. So Capricorn, Libra is your 10th house and Taurus is your 5th house. So for you, this is a new cycle beginning, and a complete transformation of how you use your own 10th house. The 10th house can be career, it can be public obligations, it can be just your public image in general. And y'all just witnessed some really weird dark stuff come up in my 10th house. That was really weird. Oh man. And yeah. Where was it going with that? Anyway, so like I said, new cycle for career, for your public image. Think really hard about how you want that to look for the next 10 years, right? Capricorn is great for long-term planning, so do that, right? make some long-term plans. What are your goals? With the Lord of the 10th and the 5th being invisible, there could be some issues coming up in the areas of children, creative projects, if any of you have children. And if you don't have children, then your creative projects or a small business. So just be mindful of that. And yeah, like I said, just take a bit of time to really lay down some long-term goals for yourself so that you actually know if you're on track or not, right? Wow. Scorpions be out here. I have never seen a scorpion in real life. Never.
All right. For Capricorn, we have Khonsu. Khonsu, and he's in the Moon family, and his hieroglyphic name means to travel, and he existed in pre-dynastic times as the moon god, and he was also associated as a messenger of the gods, similar to Tahuti or Thoth, who he was strongly connected. And Khonsu was the one who journeyed through the skies as the moon, and he was called the Traveler. And now this card represents a travel, obviously, a long journey, and also exorcism of mind or body. So that is kind of interesting.
Chance. Oh, we know all about Khonsu.
He holds all of the scepters together with the exception of the Uwaj, the papyrus in bloom, and the combination of the scepters represents the reunion of spirit, soul, and body in a new unity capable of resurrection. The fluid aquatic principle of Mut and Amun is continued in Khonsu, who stands above the water supported by the measure of Mat. The lunar phases were the first way of measuring time, ruling the earth tides in harmony with the cosmic law of Mat. So definitely, that's kind of a cool one. I don't know if I showed it, that picture as well. But standing there with all the scepters, it has like the moon crown, and it's kind of standing in this like pillared room that kind of shows, kind of the empty doorway at the end. I think that kind of goes along with the journey, entering through portals, all kinds of good stuff, I think.
This is a super cool deck. I love that.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and definitely need to use it more, I think, because it's definitely become one of my favorites of the ones that I've got.
That's pretty badass. Did you hear that, Capricorn? You're going on a journey. It's time to enter the portal. I don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere.
Prepare yourself.
Prepare. Cool, I like that. So what I got for you, Capricorn, is... Yay. We got the universe or the world card, which is... I'm sure you recognize that glyph right there. Hello, Saturn. So anyway, the world card indicates endings and beginnings, right? So there's a major cycle coming to a close and something that's beginning. There must be an ending in order for there to be enough energy for the new beginning. Okay, just keep that in mind. The other cards that you got were the Six of Wands, indicating victory in some manner, and the Queen of Swords. So it's necessary to... well, actually, you know what? This is... in this deck, sorry, this is a card of Libra. You see her cutting off a motherfucking tyrant's head, taking scalps, as Aaron would say. Yeah, we taking scalps out here. This is what I mean. Lady Justice can be a bitch. Okay, just saying. I'm just saying. And obviously, Six of Wands is very victorious. So don't be afraid of endings. Sometimes the endings are absolutely necessary. Right. So here's the thing about the 10th house. The 10th house can also be talking about authority figures. Authority figures. authority figures. I saw an interesting kind of. It wasn't really a meme. It was just text on a screen, but it said something about calling the elites obsoletes because that's what they are, is obsolete. And I was like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Motherfuckers. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I never like call them weak anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feel like Saturn. Capricorn, you got some kind of a boss battle coming up. And
Travel to a boss battle.
I guess you're traveling to a boss battle. I don't know. Good luck. Have fun. Good luck. Have fun. Yeah. There's no stepping down, basically. There's no stepping down and stepping back. You have to step into it. Sagittarius.
Snap.
Sagittarius. What up? Okay, Sag. So for you, Libra is your 11th house. This is a new cycle for you beginning in regards to your rewards, your long-term goals and dreams and wishes and hopes and desires. That's the 11th house. It can also be talking about your wider social network because really, I mean, it's all about who you know. Okay, really, Sag. It really is. Now, Venus going invisible and doing her whole death and rebirth cycle. This is affecting your 11th house, like I said, which is Libra. And for you, Taurus is your 6th house. So the 6th house is traditionally known as the house of like obstacles. It has to do with your health and your daily habits and your like normal day-to-day routine, the things that you do all of the time, but also some aspect of sacred work and service. Traditionally, it was known as the House of Slaves, but we don't really have slaves anymore. I mean, I don't anyway. I don't know about you guys, but so anyway, Venus going invisible and doing her whole cycle here. Pay extra attention to your health and your routine. This could just really be a great opportunity to restart something in regards to your routine. And actually, it would be fantastic if you could somehow find a way to do things in group settings. That's combining the 6th and the 11th house, right? It's a lot more fun if you can. And yeah, that's what I would say about that. J-Lo. Yes, they do. I didn't know you were into that. That's hilarious. Yeah. No comment? Just no comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have one of those, all right, and you're a Sag rising, you might have some issues with your BDSM partner. But oh my god. What about unpaid interns? That's definitely a 6th house thing for sure, 100%. Who's not? Yeah, we're all slaves. I know. I get it. Yeah. Welcome to life. Here's planet Earth. You guys are dark today. Jesus Christ.
It's those bots. They brought in that energy, right?
Bruh. You know what? It's my own fault. I only have one Telegram channel, and I have a feeling that it's a couple of the groups that I went into. I think they decided to troll me because I got all my links in my bio and shit. Yeah, anyway, it's my own damn fault. They probably think I was a libtard or something. They're like, let's go troll this libs channel, and I'm like, you're hilarious. Possibly Lilith. Let's not talk about Lilith, okay? That bitch is crazy, and she's on my ascendant. We don't talk about that. Just kidding. We don't talk about that. Okay, anyway, Sag. What do we got for you?
I have got Shen Er. See, it doesn't really focus. It's a pretty cool card. It's kind of got all this like these wheels and all these people like doing like acrobatics or something on it. Pretty interesting. But this is in the Pet family, which is the family of heaven. And the hieroglyphic name, the three hieroglyphics at the center of the basket containing the Ankh, Jet, and the Was represent the quality and modes of energy, while the basket itself is the symbol of the cosmic container. Its woven threads are material connections and bonds, interdependence established within the cosmic structure. And it translates to cosmos and the circuit of heaven. As chaos represents disorder and dissolution, so cosmos represents the harmonic order of creation and time. Both are realms of infinite subtlety, coexisting and interpenetrating one another. So it definitely has kind of that creative force and energy going into it. I think kind of like what you were talking about, sacred work and kind of balancing the chaos and the harmony and like order as kind of what this card represents. And its divinatory meaning is the establishment of order, harmony restored, integration, and wholeness. So those things also kind of tie into that sacred work and finding your how you can benefit your community and the world around you. And yeah, I think it's I haven't actually seen this card yet. It's a pretty cool one. I think it can mean a lot of different things actually, but I think kind of like what you were saying, it ties in the most with that kind of sacred work. That kind of definitely stood out to me the most with at least with the creative process. There is a lot of that kind of chaos, but then you kind of find that harmony and balance as you work through it and kind of integrate what you go through as part of the chaos. And then from that, you kind of end up with your wholeness, I guess.
Once again, my cards mirrored exactly what you were saying. What the hell, dude? Would you stop being so psychic? No, that's perfect. That's actually awesome. Yeah, so Sagittarius. What I got for you, Sag, and it ties in perfectly. And I love that you added in like how you can be a benefit for your community, because that's the other part of the 11th house that I mean I did touch on it a little bit, but you're absolutely right. So anyways, Sagittarius, what I got for you was the first card that came out that literally flew out is the Three of Swords. Now, don't be afraid of the Three of Swords, okay? Yeah, it's a scary card. A lot of readers talk about it as like heartbreak and all of this like grief. And I mean, it can be. It's Saturn in Libra. There's that Saturn in Libra. But anyway, this is about contracts. Okay? If the contracts that you are a part of are not built on a solid foundation, Saturn, they'll be cut the fuck up. And sometimes that needs to happen in order for something new to blossom. Literally, the very next card that came out was the Ace of Swords. Sorry, the Ace of Cups. Okay, so we go from the Three of Swords, right? The Three of Swords, which is like heartbreak and grief and disappointment and, you know, feeling like, man, that really was a good thing, but it has to end now, to, you know, being able to actually fulfill your own self, taking that heartbreak energy and transforming it via alchemy into something beautiful. So the other card that came out, Sag, is literally your card, Temperance, also known as art or alchemy, depending on the deck. So this is quite literally taking that lead, and turning it into, I mean, this isn't gold, but it's going to represent metaphorical gold in this particular instance. I love that. And I really feel like for you, Sagittarius, this is really realizing that, yes, relationships are really important, but ultimately, it has to be based in something higher than just yourself. It has to be based in something that is, you know, divine. And I think that whatever's going to go down this week is really going to help you with your own level of self-confidence. So, how? Not sure yet. Not sure exactly. You got to figure that out. Probably some like inner work needs to be done. You know what I mean?
When does
Yay, more inner work. Like, when is it? What is it? You guys are so jaded. Like, just so jaded. Oh my god. Oh, I love you guys. You guys crack me the fuck up. Oh my god. Oh man. You're like, not having it, Kaylee. Give me some good news. And I'm like, you came to a cap moon. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. I'm sorry for last time. I was kind of mean. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little mean. Sorry about that. All right. So for you, Scorpio, my friends. Oh my god. Roses are red, violets are blue. Don't always be like that, but sometimes it do. That was eloquent. That was so eloquent. Holy shit. Ooh. Sorry, Scorpio. All right, so Scorpio. Libra is your 12th house. Okay, the 12th house is the subconscious, the psyche. It's a hidden place. It's the places of loss and endings. It can also be the place of connecting with with spirit, basically. As the sun is moving into Libra, if you are a Scorpio rising especially, I say this to everybody when it is the month before their birth month, right? If you're a sun in Scorpio or you have a Scorpio ascendant, it is okay to be a little bit more withdrawn and a little bit less extroverted, because when a big planet like the sun is transiting through the 12th house, it literally is like, this is the house of sleep, okay? It's the house of fucking sleep. So it's okay if you need to sleep. Allow yourself to rest. This Venus cycle, okay? Venus disappearing. She also rules your 7th house of relationships. This could be really, really positive in a way, because this whole Libra house for you, the 12th house and the 7th house, are both simultaneously kind of going through this like reworking and revamping phase while Venus is doing her thing. So how you show up in relationships, but also the subconscious projections really that come out in relationship, they're quite likely to come up so that you can address them. All right. So yeah, do that. And I was thinking a little bit more about what it means for the Scorpio archetype to have Libra on the 12th, because the 12th is, depending on the school of astrology you follow, the 12th can be like things that we, as we're incarnating, things that we're like, no, I don't actually need to pay attention to that this life. I'm not working on that. With Scorpio, it's about diving in deep into the most intense situations, right? It's all about that transformation, that the process of death and rebirth, uncovering the absolute truth, absolute purity. Libra is about harmony and balance and like social niceties. Scorpio don't got time for that shit. Scorpio don't got time for that shit. Okay. They're like, no. Balance. Fuck your balance. What's the truth? That is Scorpio. What is the raw truth? Anyway, good stuff. Good times. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. Be easy on this week. It's not me. Sorry, but yeah, anyway. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you're ready, you can go. I haven't shuffled yet.
Yeah, for Scorpio, we have Kematef. And it's kind of a very interesting picture where there's this like snake that's kind of going in these portals or mirrors or something along those lines, but it just seems to be like repeating endlessly almost, and then kind of centers at that snake that is biting its tail, which has other definite interesting meanings in different mythologies for sure. But Kemetef, it means bull of his mother in hieroglyphs, which is kind of interesting. But before the 8 primordials existed, a great serpent named Kemetef existed. As he who has fulfilled his time, he ceased to exist. But Kemetef had a son, Urta, creator of the earth, and this son was also a snake who brought forth the 8 primordial Netaru, and later produced the Iliphalic Amon, the hidden sun. Every 10 days, Irta was said to carry funeral offerings to the 8 primordials, buried at Medidet Habu. Although Kemetef ceased to exist, the serpent power or creative energy he personified did not die. So it's its divinatory meaning is immortality. Something has fulfilled its time and is no longer necessary, or the return of something thought gone. It also means the continuity of life or the renewal of energy. And so that's sort of in this primordial before creation state that there existed like this snake that kind of just kept going in cycles. And I had festivals, the pharaohs did, that kind of symbolizes the death and then rebirth as sort of more reborn in a more perfect state. And so I think that could possibly what you could be going through here coming up is sort of this death and rebirth cycle, but it's not to be looked at as like a negative death because you'll be reborn stronger than you were. And that's kind of the immortality, the continuity of life, renewal of energy kind of themes. But very interesting card, I think. It's got earwork for you there, Romy.
That's such a classic Scorpio card. It's like, death and rebirth, of course. Guess what, Scorpio? More death and rebirth. Oh, yeah. Have fun.
What kind of tea you drinking?
So I am drinking I made it a bit spicy, actually. This is fun. So I've got some yarrow that I collected last year. This is actually the last of my yarrow. I'm very sad. A little bit of mugwort, some ginger, some cayenne, and honey.
Nice. Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom. I put some, yeah, it's a little spicy.
Turmeric, ginger, something else, and then licorice and rose with
licorice
honey.
Root.
Yeah, licorice root.
Nice.
It's not one I prepared. It's like I think it's like Numi is the brand, but it's called like 3 roots or something, and turmeric, licorice, ginger.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of rose, and then honey. But it kind of looks like I'm drinking beer out of this beer mug.
Nice, I love it.
It's tea, I swear.
Okay, so Scorpio, I got some interesting cards for you. And they're not Scorpio themed. Okay, one of them is, but they're not Scorpio themed, so that's kind of cool. We got the 9 of Pentacles. This one came out right away. I love the 9 of Pentacles for you, Scorpio. I don't feel like this necessarily connects to the astrology specifically, but whatever. So the 9 of Pentacles is like independent wealth, like feeling really good on your own and feeling like you don't necessarily need anybody else for that physical material support. And that's a very powerful place to be, right? And then what I also got is the 7 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. So the 7 of Cups being in the middle of the spread, this is actually a Scorpio card in this particular system. It's Venus and Scorpio. But anyway, so the 7 of Cups with the 3 of Wands. This can be... Sometimes this can be talking about having way too many options and getting lost in those options. Sometimes it can be just expending all of your energy on frivolous tasks. Definitely 100%. And then with the Three of Wands, though, I really feel like this is you choosing a direction and sticking with it and going with that. Who else got the Three of Wands? I forget. I don't remember. If anybody else remembers, let me know. But anyway, I like this going into this week because it feels like you're coming in a really strong position, like I said. And then perhaps going through a little bit of a reconfiguration moment where, like, when it comes to physical reality, you're doing fine. But when it comes to the emotional side of things, there's something there that needs to be addressed that's coming up. But if you choose to address it, if you choose to address it, you'll be ending the week on an even stronger and more confident foot than you began with. What's also really cool is we've got the Magician underneath. So the Magician being a card of Mercury, this is talking about our skills. This is talking about communication. So there's Mercury's in retrograde right now. It's about to go through your Kazemi. There's something that you need to talk about. There's like I was saying, for the overall energy for everybody, don't brush stuff under the under the rug this week. Don't brush things under the week. Make sure that you're addressing them, okay? And if you need to cut back on some projects that are just wasting energy, then do so, right? Because I mean, you're going from a 7, which can be an interesting kind of initiatory energy, like it's an initiation. If you think about it in terms of music, I know you'll vibe with this. If you think about it in terms of music, what comes next after the 7? It's a new octave, right? So you're jumping from one octave to the next. In order to do that, you have to have enough energy to be able to do that, right? You have to have enough. I already said it. You can do it. I believe in you. So anyway, cut back on things that aren't necessary and make sure that you're actually speaking your mind, not holding things in, because then it comes out sideways and you'll end the week on a much stronger note. Had to cut back on chocolate milk. Like every week you're like, but chocolate milk. Logan. Tie up them loose ends. Totally. Yes. Thank you, Andy. Exactly. Beautiful. Logan, what made you decide to cut out the chocolate milk? I'm curious.
It's kind of sad. I can't even think of the last time I've had chocolate milk.
It's been some time, eh? It's been some time. Libra, happy birthday, Libra. Okay, sorry. Okay, Libra. So, new moon, Mercury Kazemi, lack of chocolate cows. That's not what Logan said, but that's still funny. Okay. All this Libra activity is happening in your first house. All right. So if you are a Libra rising, especially. Oh. You were pulling my leg this entire time, you motherfucker. Just okay. Anyway, so if you're a Libra rising, all right, this whole business with Venus going invisible and diving into the heart of the furnace, this is indicative of you going through a major transformation process yourself. Okay, if you're a Libra rising, especially. Excuse me. So you could be reorienting yourself in many different areas. Okay, the first house can be talking about the themes that you're learning in this life, and for you Libra, it's all about not just harmony, but balancing harmony and like the beauty in life with boundaries. Remember, Saturn is exalted in Libra. It's about boundaries, and healthy boundaries, right? So anyway, this could be a really big period for you for creating some new goals for yourself, for changing which direction you're going in general in life. You could be moving, you could be changing things about your appearance even. And the other house that Venus rules for you is the 8th house. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yep. That just adds to the narrative of complete and total transformation and revamping of all of the things. So that's interesting, Libra. I mean, the other like major thing that you've got going on is Jupiter is in your 7th house, and that could be really interesting because you're potentially dealing with people with a lot of confidence, or in a negative sense, they like are like an overblown sense of self, to put it nicely. So that's kind of an interesting opposition. And then Pluto is also in your 4th house, totally changing everything at home, like throwing home life into chaos. Or if it's not in chaos, it's just revamping and changing everything in your literal physical home, or just internally. Sometimes the 4th house stuff plays out completely privately and internally, and you don't see it in the manifest in the outside. So huge transformation process for you, Libra. It's not even a joke. Okay. It's not even a joke. Okay. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. This local real milk. That's really sweet. We have this gentleman, this older gentleman, in our town, and his company's name is Grandpa's Honey. And he does that with this honey. It's all raw, unpasteurized, but then he adds things like we bought some espresso honey. It's literally espresso and honey, and it's really good. And we got some Saskatoon berry honey. It's so delicious. This is literally like, it's like jam, but it's honey. But oh my god! Anyway.
Wow.
It's delicious. It's really good. But anyway, if you're ready, you can go.
All right. For Libra, we have Newt or Nut. For some reason, I want to say Newt, but interesting picture. You've probably seen it before, with her being the sky going over the land. The sun is kind of being born from her belly or like womb kind of area. There's the onks shooting down from the sun. Her hands and feet are connected by that zigzag symbol, which either means water or pure energy. And its divinatory meaning is powerful protection, an opportunity to transcend previous limitations, and a reminder of our being in the vastness of the cosmos. And so kind of like you were saying about the transformation going on, I think that ties into the transcending previous limitations. So through this transformational process, you're going to want to look at what has limited you in your past and try to make sure that that doesn't happen again, which is always easier said than done, for sure. But for me, at least personally, it's usually when I get in my own way. And so that's sort of how to stop doing that and let yourself ride the pure energy, I guess. And the hieroglyph also represents energy that is transmitted from one place to another, from one dimension to another, from new energy in a chaotic state to newt, a state in which the same energy becomes actualized. Newt is also the place of gestation of everything that exists, including the breath through which we derive prana, or the life force. The breath is personified as the Nitaru, Shu, or Tefnut, paradoxically both the parents and the offspring of Newt. So there's a lot of this kind of cyclical nature that the Egyptians get into a lot, it seems, where it's just always things kind of going around and around, and you start at one place and then you end up back there after a series of transformations and transcending your previous experiences, basically.
The end is the beginning is the end is the beginning.
Yep.
The chat. Andy, fire-bellied newt. This is turning into weird spell ingredients. Logan, some black salt. A sweaty gym sock. Oh, no. Take that one back. Oh my god. And once again, my cards echoed literally exactly what you were saying. That's hilarious. What the fuck? Yeah, so Libra. I got your card, Libra. The Two of Swords. Dun dun dun. So this is Moon and Libra in this deck system. Get out of your own damn way. Okay? Get out of your own damn way. You can't weigh things all goddamn day, all right? You have to make a decision at some point, you indecisive motherfuckers, okay? God damn it. Just do it. If it's the wrong decision, you will know and you can change your mind, all right? The other two cards, okay, that came out is the Princess of Wands and the Queen of Wands. That's pretty cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever had that happen on a live stream before. And underneath, the Magician again. Okay, so with both the Princess of Wands and the Queen of Wands coming out, I'm curious. Sometimes two court cards can be talking about literally two people. But another way, like, this could be like literally trying to decide between two women. You know what I mean? Like, that could totally be a thing. But if we're talking about you, Libra, then this is really, as you're undergoing this whole process with Venus and all of this stuff, this is you when you're indecisive. You're only the princess. The princess is beautiful energy. It's pretty cool, actually. It's like new inspiration and having these beautiful ideas and like stepping into this like power that you didn't even know that you had. But the princess doesn't know how to use that energy efficiently. She doesn't know, like, she's new at it, you know? Anytime you're new at doing something, you kind of suck, okay? And that's okay. It takes practice. Just ask Virgo. And then once you decide to stop being indecisive about things, and once you decide to stop being indecisive, first you have to decide to stop being indecisive. Once you do that, right? Round and around we fucking go. Once you do that, then I feel like this is the energy of you leaving this week. All right, maturing. That's beautiful. Are you guys familiar with the story of Inanna? If you're not, I would look into it. Venus diving into the furnace of the sun is essentially the story of Inanna being sent down into the underworld. And as she's going down into the underworld, there are these stages that she goes through where she loses something that she's wearing, whether it's her crown, whether it's her necklace, whether it's her dress. You know, it's these. Actually, it's interesting. It goes in the order of the chakras, which is very fascinating. But exactly, Andy, 100%. When you don't decide, that's still a decision, right? No action is still an action. Okay, anyway, as she's going down into the underworld, right, she's being stripped of these things that coincide with pieces of her, I don't want to say ego, but basically ego, these pieces of her identity that aren't really her, right? It's not her true real essence, okay? And there's a lot more to the story, and I'm kind of butchering it, but when she gets to the underworld, she has to face off with her sister. And honestly, her husband is a little bitch and is like, nope, I'm running away. I'm not going. You can't make me. And then he eventually gets dragged down there too. It's like, no, bitch, you're coming too. So by the end of this process, jumping forward a bit, by the end of this process, she is rebirthed and reborn into her true self. And it's describing the story of Venus going from an evening to a morning star and back again, right? On a boring, mundane level anyway. This is you emerging after this process anew, reborn, as a leader, right? In this particular deck, this is an Aries card. She's a leader. She's decisive. She knows what she needs to get done and does it without asking for permission to do it. She just fucking does it. Okay, that could be a bad thing. It's not always necessarily a good thing, but maybe that might be an interesting kind of thing for you to try out this week. All right, is just putting on take off the Libra hat for a bit, put on a different hat, or take off the Venus hat rather. Take off the Venus hat and put on the Saturn hat for a little bit and just try it out. Test it out for a bit. See how you feel. And you can't make me. Oh, but we can. Anyway, yeah, so try that out. Test it out. Report back. I'd love to know. He still had to go because everybody has to eventually go through this process of the dark night of the soul. And sometimes, actually often, all right, if you choose not to face the darkness will come up and force you to look at it anyway. That's what happens. So
it usually comes
your choice.
Stronger each time if you're ignoring it.
Exactly. So it's your choice, really. It ultimately it's your choice. Okay. Virgo. Happy birthday, Virgo. I hope you had a good month. I hope you didn't kill Leo. And thank you for your wisdom. All right. So Virgo Libra is your second house. This is the house of your basically finances and resources. And Taurus is your ninth house. Ninth house? Ninth house. Okay, that's cool. So some things that might be coming up for you with this entire Venus cycle and the new moon in your second house will basically be where is spirit leading me and how can I configure my resources and finances to assist in that. That's basically the ninth and second house dance that you're going through right now. Yeah, so the new moon in the second house, like I was saying, this is a very important new moon for setting the right kinds of intentions. So what I would suggest for you, Virgo, specifically is to really take some extra time to meditate on it, to meditate on what exactly are your values and do they align with your spirituality? Do they align or is what you're learning, what you're studying in alignment with those values, right? You don't necessarily have to be super spiritual. I mean, if you're here, you probably are, but not necessarily. Yeah, that's pretty much without getting super long-winded, that's what I would say for you, Virgo. Sevens, you bite it first. How? Just saying. Yep.
We have Astoreth here, a fiery lion-headed goddess in the fire family, and her name means mistress of horses. And you can see that she's there riding on her chariot. She has 4 horses representing the 4 elements. And she is a goddess of love and beauty. And her rituals in her honor were said to be ecstatic orgies of love and pleasure. Ooh.
Okay, so just side note, Virgo, sacred sexuality. Just saying. Just saying. Speaking of sex slaves. Okay, sorry, keep going.
And the divinatory meaning of this card is the conquering of one's enemies, because she's there on her war chariot, you can see, and sensual pleasure exalted to become spiritual joy. So definitely you can see how this sort of what is happening in the physical material world can then kind of be applied to spiritual joy. And then also it can mean travel for one's advantage, as you know, kind of like the Chariot Tarot kind of has that kind of vibes. And she's the number 7 within the group, and that number 7 is a number of movement and connections, bringing the cosmic fire into the realm of matter. And so that's where it's kind of her trampling over her enemies and the enemies of Ra who stand in her path. And then she can get what she wants, which could be spiritual joy or something that you're trying to manifest or whatever happens to be working on. I think this could be definitely positive signs for that, because she's able to express and direct the living creative fire as she will, which is definitely a powerful thing. Yeah, that's about all I got with that.
Yo, what the fuck? Read that sentence about fire into matter and trampling. What the fuck? Read that again. Read that again.
Okay. I'll start at the beginning here. She's shown standing on her war chariot and brandishing a whip. She holds control over 4 horses, which symbolize the 4 elements. As the divine horsewoman, she expresses and directs the living creative fire as she wills, trampling over her enemies and the enemies of Ra who stand in her path. As number 7, she is a neater of movement and connections, bringing the cosmic fire into the realm of matter.
Yo, what the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? Okay, that was cool. That was pretty cool. What the fuck? Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't feel magic. Shut up. Okay, so that's super cool. Wow, that's literal. That's literally what I pulled. Wow. I need a minute. So yeah, Virgo is lit the fuck up. I don't even know what to say about this right now. It's it's something. Fire into earth. Then the third card is the star. Virgo, you are on some magical shit right now. I don't know what you're manifesting, okay? I don't know what you're manifesting. But the star is typically like hopes and dreams and like wishes coming true. I love that actually this is like air and water. And then you got fire and earth right here. Why is it air and water? It's the water bearer, right? She's got her funky face, but she's got the 2 vases or vases or whatever the fuck, the 2 urns pouring onto the earth and back into the river. So anyway, there's something here about ending this week on a note of refreshment, of trying to find ways to... Okay, number 1, try not to like burn bridges as you're trampling through with this spiritual fire. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's fabulous. Keep doing what you're doing because, okay, Virgo, we need receipts. Okay, we need the receipts. We need the facts. We need the truth. Mercury's retrograde right now. We need your help. Don't let them twist this shit. Okay, so keep that fire, that quest for truth, the ideal alive. We need that very much right now. The Knight of Pentacles, this is very much literally you bringing the receipts, be like, nah, bitch, this is what happened. Here's the proof. Boom, lay it down for all to see, okay? I love it. Don't be afraid to step into the spotlight in order to do so. I mean, that's one way to read the star anyway. Oh my god. And then the other thing that came out actually is the moon underneath. So you're helping us reveal things that have been hidden. All right, we as a collective, like as everybody, we need the Virgo energy very much so. And Virgo season has been like fire for like proof coming out and for people in different industries stepping up to be whistleblowers. It's been like beautiful. I mean, it's devastating, the shit that we already knew was happening, but finally coming to light, right? It's been fucking devastating. But we knew it was coming, right? We being conspiracy theorists. So, you know, go hug a conspiracy theorist friend and tell them that they were right, because they fucking were. And Virgo season has been just fucking fire for shit coming to light, and like people being allowed to finally post about things that they were banned 2 years ago. Funny how that works, isn't it? So anyway, keep bringing the fire, friends. We need you to keep doing that, and leading the way, and revealing the secrets, and showing us the deception that has been going on. So thank you for your service. Honestly, thank you for your service. I just got chills. Thank a Virgo. Okay, thank a Virgo. That's all I gotta say. I'm done. Yep. I like how that morphed. Leo. Okay, Leo. Okay. So Libra is your third house. This is the house of your tools, your communication style. How do you communicate your needs? All right. This Mercury retrograde cycle and the whole thing going on with Venus is really you getting down to the basics of how do you communicate your needs. For you, Leo, Venus also rules your 10th house of career. So how do you communicate your needs when it comes to your career or your public obligations or obligations to society? It's kind of the same thing, but not really. This like rebirth cycle will be essentially really important for you to determine are you being fair with your speech, right? Are you being diplomatic with your speech? With Libra on the third house, probably, right? Probably. But how are your boundaries when it comes to communication? And what's the other thing? This could actually be a really beautiful cycle for you if you want to put more work out. Like, let's say you want to write something. Like the third house is writing and communication of all kinds and media. So if you want to write something, if you've been working on a book, or if you want to, right, this would be a great time to start it. Yeah, actually. Or a new phase of something beginning in the realm of social media that also ties into your career, which for most of us, I think, not all of us, but a lot of us, those things are already tied together quite a lot, especially if you work online or you work from home in some way. So no surprise there. But I mean, for you, especially Leo rising, those two things are linked very much so because they're both ruled by Venus. So anyway, I really like this energy for you in general. I think that this will be a very refreshing cycle to go through. There might be some frustrations that come up in the way in regards to career specifically. But if there are, just redirect your energy a little bit and, work on some third house stuff instead. You know what I mean? So.
We've got He-Hu, one of the primordial.
Sorry.
Hehu, maybe? I don't know. But got a frog head. You see that snake coral in the darkness there at his feet. That's a Pep, the enemy of the sun. Got fire going on there. He's holding the scepter staff. And the divinatory meaning of this guy is the significance of the cycles of time in this case, Leo's life. It's the right time to act for long-reaching success. So that is kind of very interesting, because the He-Hu and his counterpart He-Hut personify the masculine and feminine elements of fire. In one representation of the primordials, He-Hu has a frog's head and He-Hut has the head of a snake. Both, and in another, He-Hu has the snake head and He-Hut the head of a cat. Both the cat and the snake are well-known hunters, and in this aspect of the hunter or warrior, they dispense the darkness by subduing a Pep, the enemy of the sun. And he's shown standing in water and mud, surrounded by the element of fire and darkness. He holds in one hand the scepter, the was, and which means prosperity, and in the other he holds the ankh of life. The triangular skirt he wears is drawn in the proportion of Phi, representing the universal order brought into creation by He-Hu and the other primordials, the order brought out of chaos. And now with the frog's head, he stands for the transformation and evolution of these elements through his fiery generative energy. So definitely the fire and the kind of salamander lizard head, he kind of represents the will and having a strong will to get what you're going after. And so like now is the right time to kind of go for what you need to be successful in, whatever that may be. And kind of in a comparison with the tarot, he's the seed of the wand. He's number 3, and he's the eternal present in time. He is now, which that's all that we really have is now. There's the past is past, the future is unknown, so why worry about it? So just focus on the now and reach for the stars. Go for that success, because you can attain it, I think.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so Mercury's coming through very strong for this reading. And I'm not surprised, because on the date of the Ingress is the Kazemi, like I'm saying, like, anyway. So the first card that came out for you, Leo, is the Magician. Like I was saying, Mercury's coming out strong here. And we're talking about your 3rd house too, so it's like double Mercury type stuff. Anyway. The Magician is analytical. Okay. The Magician is very aware of all of the variables that need to be accounted for in any given formula in order for the equation to be balanced and for it to turn out correctly. He knows the exact order of operations. He's aware of all of the prep work that needs to be done before something is launched. Okay. In any kind of activity, whether it's spell working, whether it's working on an audiobook, whether it's launching a show, there's a ton of prep work that has to happen before that thing can actually go, right? Before I've been doing this moon show, right? So I just thought of all of the prep work that goes into all of the things before a rocket is launched, right? Whether you believe we went to the moon or not doesn't fucking matter. There's a lot of work that goes in before the button can be pushed, right? The Magician knows this. So again, this is about working on your skills and your tools and refining things and perfecting things and organizing things so that when it's time to go and launch, you're ready. You also got the 5 of Wands and the 2 of Wands. That's really cool. So with the 5 of Wands, this can be talking about... with the 5 of Wands, this can be talking about some like competition, some kind of like, I mean, in this deck, this is called the Lord of Strife. So it's like these lions look drunk. I'm not gonna lie. That's like that one's like, that one's like, Have you guys seen The Labyrinth? Okay, side note. If you haven't seen The Labyrinth, you need to go watch it. But there's this one scene where Sarah comes up to these two doors, and the two door knockers on each door, one of them's got the ring in his nose, and the other one's got the ring in his mouth. And the one with the one in his mouth is trying to talk, but he can't because he's got this ring in his mouth. So Sarah pulls the ring, and then they tell her, one of us always lies and one of us always tells the truth, and she has to like figure out which one is which. And I don't know how this ties into the story yet, but it does, because these two faces are like those two faces. Like one of us is always telling the truth. Anyway, fucking hilarious. Lions got into the shroom patch. Yo. Yep. Anyway,
sometimes you gotta, though, you know.
Sometimes you need a good defrag. He's going through a good defrag. Mercury demands it. Anyway, oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so once again, we come back to needing to make a decision. With the story anyway. This does not relate to the card at all. But you need to make a decision. And even if it's the wrong decision and you go through the wrong door, guess what? There's still a solution there somewhere. And there's a lesson there too. Like, maybe don't trust the lion that looks like he's been on shrooms. You know what I mean? Anyway, the Five of Wands can be like some kind of like competition, like I was saying, or some kind of ego battle. It is an opportunity, really. It's some kind of initiation that's taking place, or an invitation, as my teacher likes to say. It's an invitation to hone one of your skills. Okay. And the Two of Wands coming out right after that. This is you taking the bull by the horns and doing your thing. Chicken wang. No, I love it. This can be starting some new project, right? After you've made a decision and after you've gone through whatever situation it is where you need to hone your skills. And really, it could just be focusing on a few less things in order to really hone in and actually like make that thing really good. The other thing is, I see on the bottom of the deck the Ace of Swords. So because this Kazemi, Mercury conjunct the Sun, that's what the Kazemi is, just in case you guys forgot, is happening right on the beginning of your third house. Definitely pay attention to messages that you receive, whether it comes from another person, whether it comes from a music, like a song that you hear, or a lyric just pops into your head. Pay attention. Not everything that you think is actually going to be important, but it could be. There could be something like a scene from a movie that comes to mind. You're like, hey, I really need to watch that movie again. There's a message in there for you. So there's an important realization. And whatever that realization is going to help you through this friction moment that you have, and probably has to do with communication. So release the throat chakra. Dude, totally. Anyway. Lie could also be the lion with the ring in its mouth. You may think the truth is hidden, but the lie could be the one that wants to be perceived as the hidden truth. Ooh, I don't remember who was the liar of the two lions. So now I have to go back and watch that movie. I mean, I love The Labyrinth, but yeah. I'll report back. Oh, David Bowie. That movie is fucked up. All right. Okay, so Cancer. Okay, so Libra is your fourth house. This is the house of your private home life. Literally the conditions in your home. The other house that Venus rules is your 11th house. So 4th and 11th. All right. So first of all, with the new moon and the Mercury Cazimi happening in the 4th house, this is going to be like this could be a really excellent opportunity for you to do some digging into your ancestry, or just really work on something that has been maybe even bothering you at home. There could be a sudden realization that you have, that's the Mercury Cazimi, about some kind of solution for something that's been plaguing you at home. And it's just kind of like there's a reconfiguration of priorities there, right? So if there has been anybody in your home life that hasn't been, picking up their slack, if it's been out of balance, Libra is balance. If it's been out of balance in any way, then hopefully you'll have some kind of like I said, realization or some kind of idea, or have a conversation that really needs to be had about those things. With Venus also ruling the 11th house, it's kind of like there's like social ramifications for things that are going on at home. Or it could be both. There could also be just like rewards or things that you're receiving from work that can assist you in your home life. And I mean, you'll know what that is when it comes up. But otherwise, just keep in mind that, if there's stuff that's weighing on you at home, it's going to seriously impact not only your career, but the things you're able to gain from your career. That's the 11th house. So just keep that in mind and make sure that you're dealing with stuff at home as it's coming up, and don't just go straight for harmony and like not rocking the boat for the sake of keeping the peace, right? Because then you're not keeping the peace in your own damn head. So good times.
We have a pet here. He's got a crocodile and a hippo holding an ankh, standing in kind of a starry darkness kind of background. The represents beginning, and pet is the sky. And the sacred animal of a pet is the hippopotamus, a symbol of maternal gestation and nursing, chosen because the female suckles and cares for its young for a long period of time. Living beside rivers and in stagnant parts of streams, the hippopotamus typified pure animal mass, consuming vast amounts of delicate aquatic plants such as papyrus and lotus to satisfy its huge appetite. It was described, the hippo, as the veritable incarnation of bestiality, mass, and quantitative multiplication. And so the divinatory meaning of this card is the multiplication of assets, pregnancy or gestation, a return to the still center, the source of the phenomenal world. So that can definitely mean a few things, but kind of with like the family life, but kind of returning to that still center, you want to kind of achieve the balance because something might be off there. And the kind of pregnancy or gestation is usually kind of a beginning, and new things are kind of in the works, and you kind of wait them out a little bit until they can kind of come to be. But then once they do come to be, there'll be kind of this multiplication of assets, and that could be a number of different things, whether it's the actual physical birth, or it could be financial wealth, or food, or some sort of abundance, I think, could be coming your way. And this definitely, I think, represents a beginning of that. And as long as that you can return to that still center, I think that, so you got to kind of make sure to keep doing your work related to that, not just wait for it to do it on its own, I guess.
So the stupid guy. Okay, a couple things. This stupid friggin' prime minister said this one thing about the budget a while back, where we're just going to keep spending. They're a liberal government, so like Democrat. We're just going to keep spending, and the budget will balance itself. Okay? No,
Yeah.
it fucking won't.
Uh,
No, it fucking won't. You fucking fuck. Oh my god. The balance will. The balance.
Ooh, it's going to work out for them. That's what they meant, right?
Whoa. Anyway, also, side note, fourth house is property. New moon in the fourth house with the Kazemi and all this stuff could be quite literally property acquisition. That's cool, but it won't happen until after Venus becomes visible again.
Right.
Well-
Wait for it to gestate, right?
Exactly, literally the gestation period. I shouldn't say won't. It might not. Okay, it depends on your own personal chart. But anyway, just saying. That's really cool that came out. Yeah. Exactly, sevens. Exactly like that. Gotta actually budget the bound. All right. Anyway, don't talk about politics or you'll just get mad. Oh, Cancer. Cancer. What do we got for you? I was so excited to speak that I forgot to shuffle my cards. Sorry about that. So we're just going to shuffle now. Sorry about that. Also, welcome, Charolais. And you're not late. You're just in time-ish. Well, I guess you're late if you wanted to watch live, but you can always go back. Okay, Cancer. Oh, snap. Oh, shit. Yo, what the fuck? Okay. I love reacting when you guys can't see the cards because I'm just like, yo. Okay, so first card out for you, Cancer. We got the Fool. Beginning a new journey. So something's going down where you really need to trust spirit in this one. All right, trust your instincts first of all, first and foremost, because they are led by spirit. The end is the beginning. Is the end is the beginning?
Right, go.
Fooled us. Must be good. Always both with me, okay? Always both. Then the next card you got out, now you guys get to drink finally. The Devil! Oh, hello, Capricorn. This card represents your 7th house, Cancer. Okay, this is a card of Capricorn, all right? Responsibility! Yay! My favorite word. This is fascinating. That's fascinating. I don't even know what to say about this right now. Hold on. Okay, so with the Fool, J-Lo was nervous. J-Lo, I love you. J-Lo knows all about that that Saturn energy in Cancer. Okay, so anyway. Like I was saying, if there's stuff going on at home, you need to address it, right? I'm not one to jump to the devil being super negative all of the time, right? However, when it comes to the 4th house, sometimes the 4th house can represent things that we willingly shove down so that we don't look at them. It's the place where we bury things, okay? The devil coming out with the Fool and like, look at that bright ass sun, all right? If there's stuff that's been buried, it needs to be addressed, all right? And it's going to be addressed because it's causing you to act in ways that are less than ideal, right? Like we mentioned earlier about, or in the chat anyway, it was mentioned, you can make the decision to stay enslaved for as long as you want. You don't have to free yourself from bondage if you don't want to. But Spirit is urging you to do exactly that. The other thing that you got was the Ace of Swords. Kaboom, baby. This is a very important realization. All right. A big download, right? an important conversation. Finally speaking up and speaking the truth about how something is affecting you emotionally. Underneath the deck is the universe. Hello, world card. Hello, Saturn again. So both Devil and Saturn are out here. So there's a Saturn heavy. There's a heavy theme of needing to take responsibility over how you are either acting or feeling or communicating in a situation. And there's some kind of important ending, or not necessarily even an ending. Like, this is an important cycle that's trying to come to a close and it needs your assistance. And this is about stepping up to the plate, really, and mastering your own self, right? But wherever Saturn is in your chart is the place where you will ultimately gain mastery. Why? Because he makes you work for it. 2 Saturn-related cards coming out in your reading, Cancer. I mean, on one hand, that's kind of indicating to me that you need to really take a hard look at your relationships. And when it comes to Libra in the 4th house, how's your partner doing with like sharing responsibilities at home? You know, I don't know what kind of household you're leading. You know, maybe it's a more traditional household where one partner, it does like manage the household and stuff and the other partner works. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's a non-traditional household where you're sharing in the workload. I don't know. I'm not in your personal life. That's up for you. But you have to be clear about the expectations. People aren't mind readers. They got to know if they're fucking up. They got to know. And when you do have that conversation, are they also able to take accountability for their actions and for their words and, you know, for their side of the bargain, their side of the deal? If not, then that's a different conversation that needs to be had. So anyway, yeah. Exactly. Discern it is exactly 100%. It's all about you because there's only you, JLo. You're hilarious. Oh my god. Anyway, if none of that resonates for you, Cancer, then don't worry about it. Okay, if that doesn't resonate for you, all right. If that's not you, all right. If I'm not speaking to you. Check your other placements first of all right? Fight with yourself. Andy, what the hell? Oh my god. This is you and your multiple personality disorder. Just kidding. If that's not you, okay, then this might actually be indicating that you might need to literally move locations in order to get away for some extremely toxic energy. And it might very well be that this new moon cycle and ingress into Libra and Kazemi and all that fun stuff will finally show you why. I mean, maybe you already know why, you know, especially if you're JLo and you live in the middle of LA and, you know, people are literally being shot across from your apartment and stuff like that. Maybe it's time to fucking move. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time to move. Just saying. Put an end to that shit. I love you, Cancer. Oh man, I love you guys. Gemini. Stacy, don't talk about us like that. Hey man. There was no judgment about the multiple personalities, okay? Just, you know. Silent judgment, just kidding. Okay, Gemini. So for you, Gemini, Libra is your 5th house. This is the house of joy and fun and pleasure and children and creative projects. So This is a fun one. This is a fun one. Taurus is your 12th house. So the new moon and Libra season in general will have you taking a close look and starting something new in regards to literally some joyful creation, right? How can you have more fun? And how can you balance that out? Right? Venus going through her whole underworld cycle, there quite literally could be some issues that come up in regards to romance, right? That's the 5th house. In regards to children, or in regards to some, like if you're a small business owner, there could literally be some issues coming up in that area. And just like what I said with Scorpio, where some of this stuff is coming out or expressing subconsciously, the same goes for you. It's just it's playing out in the second house. The other house that it's playing out in is a little different. So how are you? You don't need to answer this in the chat or in the comments or anything. This is just something for you to reflect on. How do you do with projections in relationships, like romantic relationships, or even with children? And I mean both positive and negative projections. So this is the 12th house coming out, right? When we enter into any kind of a romantic relationship, right, there's always projections. Usually it starts out with very positive projections where we idealize the absolute best onto the other person. We're like, yeah, this person is the shit. I love them. And this is why. And often a lot of those things that we see in the other person are actually our own traits that we've disowned, right? That's a positive projection where it's like, they're so artistic, they're so talented, they're so this, they're so that. You are actually those things, okay? How do you do with those things? Like, do you have any practices that you do where you actively take those projections back, right? And then, of course, you guys are all familiar with the concept of negative projections. I don't need to go over it. I'm sure that you do. I group hug myself. Andy. Anyway, we also project onto children, right? So this is another 5th house theme. So anyway, how do you have any practices where you actively manage that? Do you struggle with this? This could be something that comes up. So think about that. Which tell you what about positive projections? Yeah, it's a big deal. Yep. This is how you know I've been to a lot of therapy. Yep. Okay. Yeah, dude. Okay, so yeah, if you're ready, you can go. I'm done talking now.
Imhotep in the family of fire. And his name means, we'll kind of see him show again. This guy's sitting there, he's got a scroll, and he's got the caduceus staff, which I'm sure a lot of people here recognize, and then got kind of the alchemical fire bowl going on behind him. And his hieroglyphic name means he who comes in peace. And he was a god of healing and medicine. That he actually was allegedly a person who did live in Egypt and was later kind of deified some 2,000 years after his death because of his kind of work with medicine and its closely related science of magic. And the divinatory meaning of this card is the power of healing or the healer. So I think kind of going along with the theme of that projection, that I think it's important to make sure you're doing beneficial projections if you're going to help you on your healing path, because you don't want to sort of put salt in the wound, you could say, I guess. He was also a great sage and man of knowledge, similar to Huti, and reflected in this image where he's shown seated with the caduceus. In the Duat, he uttered the words to protect the dead, and the Duat is the realm of the dead. and he was the wise one, the one who comes unto him, who calls upon him wherever so he may be. And the caduceus shows his power of directing energy for healing, balance, and harmony. So you want to make sure that you're using these powers that you have in a positive way, and not to project negatively, or just kind of do things that would otherwise be kind of harmful to you, and to always be kind of trying to follow the healer's path, I think, is important. He was also an architect, and was called upon to help the Nile when it failed to flood and there was years of drought. And so you're kind of able to correct problems as they arise, and solve things kind of for the betterment of, your society. But the projection thing, I think, really stood out to me, in that you want to make sure that, positive is kind of the name of the game, I think, where, not that you can't stop all negative thoughts or feelings sometimes, but a lot of times you want to look at those and see what might be causing you to apply these kind of negative connotations to things, and that might help lead you onto what can help heal you, or heal others, or heal your situation that you might be in.
Sage advice. I like that. Totally. And it was funny, as well, it's not funny, but as you were saying, a couple of your last sentences there, the tower came out, and I was like, oh, hello, Mars. Hello, Mars, the blasted towers. So Gemini, Gemini, Mars is in your sign, it's been hanging out, it's been doing his thing, it's been fucking with your shit, just being a right downright asshole. I prefer oregano advice. You're hilarious. Yeah. Oh, and then the Ace of Swords. What's our last card? It's Blasted Tower, Ace of Swords. Okay, so Ace of Swords with the Tower is a very important realization. Wow, with the High Priestess underneath. Okay, cool. All right. Right as Mel came in. You are an intuitive motherfucker. Okay, fucking fire, exactly. Okay, so anyway, Blasted Tower, right? This is one of those moments where you either have some kind of a conversation, and I mean, with Mars in your sign, they're probably pretty fiery conversations, aren't they? Right, Gemini? But a nice little lively debate. Never hurt anybody, right? As long as it's respectful. Anyway, there's something going down this week. Something major where you are undergoing a huge internal shift. The Blasted Tower is not always cataclysm, okay? I mean, it kind of sounds like it, but not always. Sometimes it's a much more subtle... I said fight with yourself. You did say fight with yourself. You did say fight with yourself. You're right. Anyway, it can be a more internal shift where, okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Shit's going down this week. Fuck that. Shit's going down this week. Holy shit. Oh my God. Yeah. But then here's the puzzling part, okay? It's not all chaos, all right? There's something really uncomfortable about this, but there's also something really beautiful about the realization that you make. Whether it's, hey, I actually can speak the truth, or I actually... Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. I actually can speak the truth, or I actually can stand up for myself. Or, right back to the thing that I was saying at the very beginning of this whole broadcast. I was talking about how with Libra especially, okay, because we're talking about your 5th house, Gemini, with Libra especially, there's this tendency to go for harmony for the sake of harmony. and ignore the other side of the scale, which is ruled by Saturn. Okay, boundaries, bitch. This is probably you realizing where you need to have stronger boundaries, maybe, or alternatively, since we're talking about Mars and destruction, there's something that some kind of wall that needs to be brought down or will be brought down, whether you like it or not. Sorry. But then the third card that came out was the Four of Wands. This is a card of celebration, okay? Here's the thing with Mars. Mars is a pioneering energy, okay? It brings something new that's never been seen before. And sometimes in order to bring something new, something old has to be destroyed, right? Or disregarded or discarded. From that destruction, you're able to build anew, all right? The 4 coming out is extremely positive for how this works, or how it's going to work out by the end of the week, right? With the 4, we have some kind of stability, right? It is some kind of perfected work. Sometimes it's a celebration. Sometimes it's a coming together of two families, literally. Like literally, sometimes the 4 of Wands can be like marriage. Which would be that'd be quite the tower, wouldn't it? I'm just like, holy shit. Oh my god. Anyway, that's yeah. The 4 of Wands is feeling spiritually secure. With the High Priestess being underneath, whatever this is, trust your intuition about it, right? No matter how it's playing out for you, just trust your intuition about it, because and you might even need to keep certain things under wraps and in the private realm rather than broadcasting it out. Anyway, that's pretty much what I got for you. Just start showing a mirror. Yeah, dude, exactly. I actually really love that as a strategy when dealing with somebody. So if I'm dealing with somebody that I'm uncomfortable around, or something is coming out that I'm not comfortable with, I will literally imagine a mirror in front of me, bouncing their reflection back at them. It's a really interesting trick. And it's not a trick, it works. It works. There's something about it where they kind of like subconsciously realize their own energy and are repulsed by it. It's really interesting. I don't always remember to use it, but when I do, it's very effective. So anyway, yeah. Any closing thoughts for Gemini?
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're almost at the end, but don't be afraid to add on anything if you feel called to, okay?
For sure.
Okay. Taurus. Oh, that's cool, Stacy. Yeah. Totally. 100%. I love that a lot. All right. Taurus. So for you, Taurus, Libra is your 6th house. So if you're a Taurus rising especially, this is a new cycle beginning in the realm of your health, like your daily routine. Excuse me. And or the service that you provide. Some kind of sacred work type arrangement. What's kind of interesting about the Taurus design, just kind of astro nerd for a second here. Now, in classic aspect theory, the 6th house you cannot see from the ascendant, so you can't see your own 6th house. That's why different health things often surprise us, because we kind of ignore it. To be perfectly honest, we ignore the early warning signs usually, unless you're really in tune. But usually we don't. However, in the Taurus design, both of those houses are ruled by Venus. So it's actually like Taurus is like more psychically or energetically in tune with their own like bodily health, which makes sense for Taurus in general because they're so grounded and earthy and connected to the five senses. So that's just kind of a fun little side note, astro nerd moment. Yeah. Anyway, so you might be making a really important realization with this Mercury Kasimi on the equinox about your health or about some task that you dedicate a lot of time to that you can consider to be like I said, like a sacred service. Maybe there needs to be a change there. Maybe there needs to just be a reformulation. But something about it needs to change, and something about you yourself needs to change as well. Since we're talking about the 6th house and the 1st house, I feel like Taurus ascendant especially needs to take care of their physical health at this time, like literally their body, right? So taking care of the small things every day adds up, right? Like brushing your teeth, but not with fluoride, you know? Like all those little changes add up and snowball into big things. And just really feel like this is an opportunity for you to correct course on something, and you might need to, you might be forced to. But on the positive side of things, this whole Venus cycle is just helping you realign yourself to something that's meant for you. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Aw. Thanks, buddy. Go ahead, my friend.
Neckbet. You see the vulture we got. Got the staff, scepter, also has the Ankh. You see the Eye of Ra. And the hieroglyphic name means germination. And she's the goddess of the south. And Nekhbet is the twin sister of Ujit and the goddess of the south. And her symbol is the vulture. And the cult for this huge flesh-eating bird was extremely ancient in Egypt. So it goes way back. People worshiping or following this bird. And Nekhbet was closely linked to the vulture goddess Mut, the world mother, the brooding, gestating principle that nourishes the new life in the egg until it reaches maturity. As a fertile nature principle, Nekhbet was said by Broche to be a form of the primeval abyss which brought forth the light, and as a mother of the sun god, she became, with Mut, intimately related with Osset, which is Isis. And she was called the father of fathers, the mother of mothers, who hath existed from the beginning and is the creatrix of the world. And if you can recall you can see it here on the card, the crown that the pharaohs would wear when they kind of united Upper and Lower Egypt. The vulture and the snake were the two symbols of the two halves of the country, and that symbolize kind of that union together. And the divinatory meaning of this card is the gestation of plans, success through applying spiritual principles, and clear-sightedness. So I think this will definitely help you to answer what you might be unsure of, and to use that to help you to plan and get success, as long as you're sticking with things that are spiritually true to yourself, and not to kind of abandon those things that you have learned on your spiritual journey. I think in the Duat, the Nekhbet watched over the dead and was said to transform their eyes into brilliant light. Here in this card, she wears the white crown of the south with her symbol, the vulture, hovering behind her. Her left hand is raised over the Ujit eye with a lotus plant, another symbol of the south, growing below. Nekhbet was also associated with the moon, and it definitely, that just goes into a long quote that I won't read, but yeah, the vulture is kind of an interesting symbol, I think, just being kind of a scavenger that is able to survive and do things that most other things would not be able to do to, get what it needs to be done, and in that essence, be successful and kind of reproduce and carry on, because it can just find and repurpose and kind of transmute the dead into now life. I think there's a lot of power with that symbology there.
Dude, 100%. Those kinds of creatures, the ones that are scavengers, are absolutely necessary in order for nature to be nature and do its thing, right?
Yep. It's
we'd have dead things rotting not even rotting, because they wouldn't rot, they'd just be dead and gross and just everywhere if we didn't have things like maggots and vultures and other scavengers to clean it up. That's powerful.
For sure.
Oh. The X of the Enelima. I want to hear more about this. Okay. Taurus. There's definitely something in your cards this week about being more confident in yourself. Being a leader. Being victorious and allowing yourself to be in that energy without overthinking it, or without feeling guilty, or without feeling ashamed or anything like that. So we got the King of Wands. We got the Six of Swords. Okay, so these are both very Leo cards. It's like huge burst of self-confidence. The King of Wands can be, actually, check it out. Check what's on his staff. You see that bird head? Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay, anyway, sorry. I think you can see it. Anyway, the King of Wands has got this energy of like being a leader, knowing he's king shit. I mean, just look at the balls on that motherfucker, okay? It's confident and courageous. All right, that is the Leo energy, leading with the heart, as Chance like to say, with his treasure chest. Right, with the Six of Wands coming out again, like this is a repeating energy that's coming out for a lot of you, and I really think the repeating energy is you need to have confidence. You need to express yourself and be bold. But then you also have the Nine of Swords. So this is what I'm saying about accepting the fact that you're stepping into a new role in life. Being bold about it, not overthinking it. With the Nine of Swords, sometimes we can self-sabotage really easily by getting lost in our head and overthinking things. Underneath the deck, we have the Four of Swords. So I actually feel like this, the advice here is, if you feel yourself either going too far into the King of Wands energy and not just being confident, but being arrogant, or if you find yourself like mentally beating yourself up, or staying up too late at night because you're ruminating or getting lost in your head or anything like that, to take some time out to meditate and rest. Right, the Four of Swords can also be talking about just like doing more research and like really hammering out your homework, you know, or it's like literally rest from strife, and it's like you're taking more time to meditate and to clear your mind and stabilize the mind so that you're not getting lost, you know, in Nine of Swords land, which just doesn't sound fun. Yeah, also be careful with your words at this time. Make sure that you're not just spitting out everything that you're thinking, especially if you're really riding high in this energy. Yeah, and it's not a good time to make enemies, you know what I mean? Not a good time to make enemies. Yeah. Word. Yep. That's it. That's all I got. There haven't been enough giggles from you, sir. We need more laughter. It's all good. It's all good, buddy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Me too, my friend. Me too. Yeah. By the way, guys, like 99.9% of the advice that I give to you guys, I'm saying to myself. Even when it's not my sign, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do that. Yep, should probably do that.
Way.
Yep. Better go do that. So, yep. Just so you know, I'm J-Lo hasn't been J high on niceness. Hilarious. Yeah, just so you know, I'm not perfect by any means. Anyway, Aries. Libra is your 7th house, the house of relationships. Do fun. How have you been feeling with Jupiter in your sign? That must be fun. It could be fun anyway. Might be, yeah, it's probably fun. It's probably more fun than not fun. Okay, so Mercury Kazemi right on the ingress. Fucking magic in relationships, bud. Fucking magic. Venus also rules your 2nd house of resources, values. So for the new moon, okay, and the ingress, we're talking about specifically reorienting yourself and a new cycle beginning in the area of committed relationships. And again, I think I say this every time I mention the 7th house. It's not just romantic relationships. It's any kind of contracts. Okay. So with Venus going through this huge overhaul and the Venus star point moving into Libra this year, which again, I'm going to link some videos in my Telegram and in the Universe chat for sure, specifically about the Venus star movement from Scorpio to Libra, because it is a big fucking deal. It's a big deal, okay? It's important, okay? It's really important. Anyway, how you present in relationships and the kinds of relationships that you're attracting to yourself is going through a huge overhaul. Okay. Because Venus also rules your 2nd house of values. Kind of similar advice to what I said to Virgo. Really be meditating on your values at this time. Your values and your valuables. That's the 2nd house. So how does that tie into relationships? I mean, the answer is pretty obvious, but that's the question that you need to really contemplate. And when it comes to the contracts that you do invite into your life, whether that's like business relationships, you know, I don't need to list them all. I really don't, especially for you, Aries. I know you get it. Really be thinking about what you want those to look like going forward. And yeah, don't be Aries. Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty. Take your time, right? Venus has to go through this whole cycle. All right. So if stuff isn't showing up for you right now, I know it's going to be hard, but take a chill pill. Take a chill pill. It's okay. It's happening. But Venus is on her own time. All right. She's going to do her own thing. And it's beautiful. Witness the dance. Right? Just witness the dance. It's fabulous. So that's what I got for the astrology. What day is Kazemi? The Kazemi is literally on the Libra Ingress, September 22nd. It's exact on the equinox. It's crazy. I've never seen this before. It's really cool. Anyway. Sorry, anyway. Go ahead.
Got a great card here. Tahuti. The legendary Thoth. Good card to round things up here with. Now he's one of the most powerful gods worshipped throughout Egypt, and he kind of represents science, alchemy, kind of bridges, is kind of a medium between the realms, sort of, where he was called the heart and tongue of Ra, where he was the medium through which the will of Ra was expressed. And he was not born from any other god. He is simply emerged from the watery abyss of Nu, along with Mat, his female counterpart, and Ra. And the divinatory meaning of this card being drawn is success in writing, literature, and science, occult knowledge, and mediation. So if you definitely have any sort of writing projects going on, I think this is a great time to focus on that, and I think that will bring you good success. And sort of any sort of academic or sort of spiritual pursuit, whether knowledge-based research, anything like that, I think is a great time to work on these things. And because I think you'll be able to sort of pull things possibly from the Akashic records or something similar like that. Well, you'll have a good kind of mediumship between your higher self and what you're able to perceive down here in the material realm. Definitely there's a lot you could kind of go into with Thoth, Tahuti, but above all, he's kind of a divine intelligence, the universal mind with all of its powers of speech and creation. He was a scribe of the gods, or in particular, the scribe of Mat. And he formulates all the words of creation and records them in the Akasha, or universal memory. But his word only has power when he is together with Mat, who is the cosmic law, which is the same as saying when the mind is centered in the heart. So just because these things are kind of lining up for you doesn't mean you can just kind of go willy-nilly with your pursuits, but try to stay heart-centered and stay balanced, which is just kind of, I think, good for most signs most of the time, where it's when things get out of balance, that's when shit starts to go down, it seems like. But definitely staying with your cosmic principles, and I think success will be yours in your pursuits.
Dude, hell yeah. I love that you pulled your deck's version of the magician, basically.
Yeah.
For Aries. That's perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Sevens. Are you an Aries? That where you're waiting for a 7 to come out? Curious. Also, Chance, I don't mean to. I'm really not specifically talking to you, although I do picture you in my brain sometimes. I'm like, well, this applies to Chance too, but I mean, like, not intentionally. I swear to God. I know other Leos and Aries and Libras, okay? Jesus, it's not all about you. Love you, buddy. Oh, man. Oh, Script Stone. That sounds fucking cool.
There's so many kinds of Jasper. It's awesome. I love them.
Yes, count Thoth, because it's literally the same archetype. Aries Sun. I'm just delaying. I'm just intentionally delaying now. I'm sorry. Okay, so Aries. You got the motherfucking sun, which is exalted in Aries. Freedom, joy, love it, illumination, blessings from the motherfucking sun, blessings from the monad. When Sorry, but okay. Anyway, the sun, blessings, Aries. Expect blessings this week. That's fucking beautiful. Love it. Fucking gorgeous. Four of Wands. Well, it's not the first time this card has come out. Very interesting. So, like I said, with the Four of Wands, this can be some kind of celebration. With the Four, we're talking about spiritual fire stability. Love it. Some kind of spiritual union. Maybe you are changing homes. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna leave the rest of that blank because I know too much, apparently. But then also the Three of Wands. And then the Three of Wands, Aries. So this is really cool, actually. Also 3 + 4. It's 7. So I could be a bad friend. No, just kidding. Okay, so sorry. Chat is distracting. Blessings from the sun. Fucking beautiful. Literally. Joy, pleasure, fun. Can't ask for anything else. Four of Wands, beautiful celebration. Like what more do you want, Aries? These are perfect cards. And then with the Three of Wands. And then with the Three of Wands. This is really becoming, I mean, also this is in this deck, this is Sun in Aries. This is really like stepping into even more of your path. Committing to one particular path and then getting established in it. If you're not starting anything new at this time, then this is just further honing some skills related to, I don't know, maybe like using tuning forks or some other kind of tool. Some other kind of tool that assists you. Another way that you can read this card, really, for the other Aries out there that are not chance. The other way that you can read that is feeling safe in your home, right? And learning something new, especially with Mars in your 3rd house right now. This is a lot of energy directed towards tools and communication, right? Like that wasn't the point of this like astrology reading, but I mean it's coming up, so I guess we'll talk about it. Mars in the 3rd house for Aries rising specifically, this can be an excellent time to, I mean, explore your local neighborhood, right? 3rd house, especially Gemini, is your local neighborhood, and Mars is the courage to explore. Like a staff. Yeah, like a staff. Exactly. Yeah. You could be making staves. You could be just learning how to use staff. I don't know. But anyway, Mars in the 3rd house can also like give this burst of energy for literally writing things. This ties into Thoth. Literally writing things. Learning something new. Also a Mercury Thoth kind of theme. And just like really just learning how to use a tool really, really well. Now on the bottom of the deck for you, Aries, is the 6 of Cups. That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. This is the Lord of Pleasure in this deck, right? Sun and Scorpio. So the other Mars ruled house, actually. So anyway, 6 of Cups underneath. I'm going to take this in the most positive way possible and say that this is finding some internal emotional balance within, right? The 6 is perfectly balanced. Sometimes it can be like happy memories and nostalgia and things from the past, but I'm not seeing that in the rest of the cards. So it could just be coming to peace or coming to terms with something from the past. Allowing things that need to just be so that you can move into the present, into the now, and really focus on the blessings that are here. Focus on the the stability that you have now, right? You could even be working on some kind of like, well, there's nothing transiting your fourth house right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't be doing home improvements. So just putting that out there. Like, right, especially with the Four of Wands, right? Like this is literally beautifying. It's Venus. It's beautifying something. Dude, that's fucking sweet. Will you show us your sword? Not like that though. Oh my god, Kaylee. Okay, anyway. So Aries, beautiful cards. I love it. Love it. Yeah, so yeah, they spotted your armor behind you.
I don't have any armor behind me, but I
Oh,
don't know.
what do you got? What is that behind you? On the other side. Yeah, that. What's that?
That?
Yeah, the brown brass. Hold on. I'm a full screen you. Hey, word.
This?
Yeah. Well,
It's just
okay,
a
I
hood.
see. Oh. Okay, boring. Oh, wait, you have a helm though over your other shoulder.
It's a
Wait,
pit.
no, that's a lamp. Never mind. I got excited. That's a lamp. All right. We got it. We're snooping. We're snooping now. We're just snooping. We're like, hey, what's behind you?
There's lots of interesting things around.
But yeah, is that a poly longsword?
Yeah, longsword. It's kind of the German style where there's sort of where I started looking into like HEMA, it's called historical European martial arts. And unfortunately, the local place around here is checking vax passes, so I kind of bailed on that. But
They're woke motherfuckers. I knew it.
like, they're not scared of like swords being swung at them like super fast, but like they're scared of air basically.
HEMA's gay anyway.
So I like built a Pell on my
Scared of the
back,
air.
like a training dummy. I have this training sword over here, but I've kind of fallen out of it. I need to get back into it, but it's a little hard to learn on your own, especially because like I don't want to learn bad techniques, so then I have to unlearn those once I start actually training with people. But
yeah,
good stuff. Martial pursuits are good.
Very appropriate for Mars and Gemini. I like that. Yeah, dude. So wait, the training sword that you have, do you have like a full steel one with rounded edges? Or do you have like a poly longsword, like one of the black ones from
Just like,
okay, yeah. That's the good quality ones. Nice.
for
Yeah,
sure.
the nylon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to work for a shop that sold swords, so I know my shit. That's good stuff. Those are the good quality ones.
Metal, like fetter, I believe they're called, but like
Yeah.
I just kind of once I learned that the local like dojo or whatever they call it was woke as fuck, I kind of like rained on my parade a little bit. But,
Yeah, unfortunately. It's like, I thought you were a history nerd. It's like, come on now.
this is not it.
They're not afraid of swords, but they're afraid of the air. That's funny. Oh my god, that's so funny. Well, friends, if anybody would like us to play rock, paper, scissors, we can do that. Okay.
Sword.
Yeah. You're like, that's not scissors. That rock does not beat sword. That's so funny.
Sure.
Oh my god. Oh man. Cool. Yeah, I love this. This is actually really fun bringing people on rock, paper, sword. Yeah, no, I'm bringing the gun back if that's the case. Yeah, this is fun.
I have more of those than I do of swords. So.
Okay. Oh, Americans.
Oh yeah.
Just openly admit that on lines.
Come and get it.
I'm Canadian. Yeah, anyway. What was I gonna say? Yeah, dude, thank you for joining me today. This has been fun. Yeah, I appreciate you helping us round out the Virgo season with some Virgo in your chart. Love it. And yeah, the fact that you also had Libra was like perfect. I'm like, I didn't plan that, but it worked out that way. So
Universe.
that's really cool. Right? I know. What? I don't control everything? What? Yeah, it's fun. Chance was wondering this whole time what all of those things were. Now we know. Yeah. just snooping. Sorry, buddy. So finally someone who can beat me. Yep. I'll just bring out the wand and be like, oh man, that's good. Yeah, dude. Okay. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'm not seeing any personal reads, so that's cool. We were pretty thorough, I feel. And yeah, okay, so next week we'll be fully into Libra. So we'll be talking about some fun transits at that time. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to drop some links about specifically about the Venus cycle. Venus's synodic cycle, the 5-point star that she makes, and why it's a big deal that the conjunction is not happening in Scorpio, it's happening in Libra. And was there anything else that I needed to drop in there? I don't think so. Yeah, do you have a website set up or anything like that, or any place where you are selling your copper-plated beauties, or just through Telegram, or how can people get a hold of you to find what
personal connections so far, but I am probably going to set up an Etsy page at some point. It seems like a good idea, because like we were talking about in the art group, because like I've done some like flea markets and stuff like that, and it's just like, I mean, I can get like interest, but like most people are, you know, and it really depends on the flea market too, because I did one in Seattle. That one I had more success at, just because there was sort of more creative, artsy admirers. But then I did one that was kind of more out in the county, and it was just like everyone was just looking for like tools or like cheap toys for their kids. And yeah, oh yeah, I in addition to kind of the crystal wands, I do like a lot of other kind of shamanic tools is sort of what I'm being called to make. So I've got some like rattles in the works that I haven't finished yet. I want to make some tuning forks, and I definitely want to get one out to Chance, just to kind of get some positive feedback or negative, or constructive criticism, I guess. Let's to see if, you know, what I'm making actually does what it's supposed to do, I suppose. And yeah, I've made some kurapes. They're kind of like the shamanic snuff tobacco that they use in some ceremonies. I've made a few of those. And
one that's spelled like rape, but it's like rape.
Yeah, yep.
That stuff.
Yep, for sure.
Yep.
But I just have an Instagram really that I made just kind of for my art, and need to get better at taking pictures of the stuff that I make. But that's Alchemist in the Machine, one word. So check me out there. And if you need anything, if there's anything randomly you need for your own spiritual journey, healing journey, whatever your own practices, and you would like to get it made, I can probably get it done. I have access to a machine shop and all kinds of other fun tools. So I'm happy to assist. I feel like I'm the spiritual blacksmith, and that's sort of what I'm here to do. We're here to get you the tools you need to defeat your, you know, whatever.
Not demons.
Demons.
Yeah. And other people's. I think that's so badass. Yeah, dude. Shamanic tools, very cool. Didn't you make a set of tuning forks? Did you test them out?
Random scrap steel that was sitting around the shop, and I made some from that. I haven't like really finished them yet, but that's kind of, I guess, my personal set. But I just bought 12-foot bar of aluminum that I'm gonna make these next ones out of instead of steel, because like the steel is definitely pretty heavy, you know? And so I feel like most of them probably are aluminum. But like listening to, I'm blanking on her name, but Chance would know. She does two of those books.
Arlene McCusick.
Arlene, yeah. Or like, because listening to her, she like uses this really special alloy, and I'm just using 6061 aluminum, which is like a great like aerospace kind of, has good properties that way. But I'm curious of what it will translate frequency wise, I guess, into a fork. Because like I came across this like formula where how you can get the frequency that you want based on like time length, but you need to know what alloy it is. All of this kind of stuff has an effect on it. Where I usually just use this like app on my phone that tells you the frequency, and so I like hit it, and then like, oh, it's a little bit too high, cut a little bit off, make the tines a little bit shorter, and then that raises the frequency. So like I usually will try to make it a little bit bigger than I need, and then as I'm cutting it down, it raises up to the frequency, and that's how. And that also depends on how accurate these apps are, but that's all I got. So.
Right, fair enough.
What frequency you want, Chance? What, hit me with a number. Something to round out your collection. I know you got solfeggio.
Yeah, dude, that'd be fun.
777-888.
I love this just Mercury melt. It's so metal. He's so fucking metal. Spiritual blacksmith. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I will check out the episode with Benjamin. I love that dude.
Yeah, 100%.
That'll be a good show. Apparently, it's crucial. I'm being told I must. I'm like, all right, okay. I was going to anyway, but yeah, Chance, hit us with the number. Hit him with the number. Hit the man with the number. Can't believe there's people here still watching us. I'm just fucking around right now. Yeah. Tactical tuning fork minefield.
Oh, here's another idea I had. I wanted to make like a butterfly knife tuning fork. Flip out.
Just with my old ding. That's hilarious. That'd be funny. That'd be really funny. One more time, what was the name of the deck that you brought out?
It's called the Book of Doors Divination Deck, an alchemical oracle from ancient Egypt.
It was fucking badass. Thank you for bringing something different. The Book of Doors.
I've never tried it, but it came with an 8-sided die, and like on the back, there's kind of this grid system, and you'll actually like roll the dice twice, and it'll tell you like the family and then which one, and so like you actually like kind of pick it by dice, and like that's one of the ways you can do. Another way is like a layout like this with a Teractus, with the kind of the 10 points that make a pyramid, and I usually just pull a card where like this is actually that first card I've ever pulled from, like for other people too, and so it's definitely an experience. But
well, it was really awesome. You obviously did really good, because literally every single pull was something that it either resonated with the astrology and or it worked with the cards that I pulled. So like, you did great. So Chance says he wants to try a 144 or a 3 or a 432.
All right.
I like the 144. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Do whatever. But I'm like, oh, that's a cool number. Anyway, cool. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Oh, the best one to test drive is the lower end. Oh, that makes sense in my brain. Like it'd be easier to hear the pitch shifts. Cool. But yeah, dudes, thank you for hanging out. Love you all very much. See you on the flip side. Peace.
Yes, later, y'all.